Hi everyone, this is Tolulope Togan Harrison, a member of JLR. I sit within the commercial team, Jaguar House of Brands. I sit with client care team as well, doing some interesting propositions for Jaguar and looking forward to the new Jaguar launch. One animal I can describe myself would be an eagle. I'm a lone ranger. I like to walk alone, take on challenges, go for what I like. Nothing stops me. Those characteristics of an eagle. I am from a part in Nigeria that is called Lagos Badagry. And anyone who knows the history of Badagry knows about slavery, and that started with a bit of my generations as well. And if you know my name, I said Togan Harrison, and that's where it came from. So when you have grandpas and uncles who tell you history of how one of them had to be taken abroad and somehow your great-grandfather adopted a name because he couldn't pronounce his name when he was in England, it tells you a lot about what he went through and how he had to survive and then come back, build things within Badagry. And that's one thing I always go back home to see. The museums in Badagry tells you a lot of history. So I'm connected to that history, and every black person should be proud of the history they have. I'm proud of mine because I can look back and say we've got ancestors that went through a big struggle. They've come out of it stronger. We're here, not driven around anymore. We have our opinion, we have our voices are heard, and I think it's a good way to celebrate that this month.
So what artifacts are in the museum in Badagry?
In Badagry, you would see a lot of the chains that the people were trafficked with. It gives you a sense of how they were being brutalized. When I look at those shackles and the various ways where people were being taken from the land and then taken abroad, because we were more like commodities then. You sit down today and you're drinking Hennessy and then you wonder how 30 people could be locked up in a very small room and then traded for a bottle of gin or a mirror. I've got uncles that are still back home. Some of them have deep connections with those kind of histories, and so for me, when it comes to Black history, it's joyous for me to say I am back here. There's a reason why I've got a compound name. It's because I still want to be connected. While my grandpa has changed his name to Harrison, the Togan there kind of symbolizes a traditional name. It's called Balogun. So if you know anything about Yoruba culture, Balogun means somebody who's a warrior. So I've got an uncle with the chieftain Tasu back in Badagry, and that's the kind of lineage where I come from. It's just myself and my dad who's using that name now. There's another name that's, I just say Harrison, but that's another different interpretation, who is also my cousin. But those are the kind of connections where we try to still get, even though we live in a Western world, we don't want to trade with everything.
So do you speak your language? And what is the name of the language?
It's called Egun. It fascinates me. Unfortunately, I can't communicate in the dialect. Maybe, hopefully soon I'll take time to learn it.
So can you say hello in Igbo?
And then you respond like, yeah, I'm fine.
What factors are unique about you?
It's being tenacious. In life, if you're tenacious about what you want, you would get it. I don't take my eyes off anything I want to do. Depending on how long it takes me, as long as I cross that line and achieve the goal I want to achieve, I would always go for it.
And what can we learn from you?
Being focused, patient. Everyone's got to speed. Understand yourself and move at your own pace, and don't stay on one point and just keep moving.
So what would you like to see during Black History?
I'd like to see more of the connection of where we bring about our attires and our culture, where people can learn and understand us. A lot of people do not really understand the Black History Month in the Western world. We're not just banners and music. Don't really understanding what exactly we're celebrating.
So what shocking fact have you heard about blacks in the past or recently?
Someone once told me, anywhere you live around the world, you don't say black man, don't stay there. I don't know how true that is, but as long as it's a viable economy, there's a black person there.
I think I agree with you, especially Nigerians.
Well, one of the brightest, smartest, had some results about some things some Nigerians are doing, particularly in the world of academics, and it shocks me how we keep shattering the ceilings and going higher. It's always a proud thing to hear about that as a black person.
So you said you don't have any comments about the Anglo African woman stereotype?
Going by the history of every black woman, is this zeal to always ensure that they've got their mark everywhere they go. Fumiran's Kuti is one of them. If you hear about the history of this kind of women and read about it, you can have an idea of what the African woman is about, and it's worth celebrating as well. They are virtuous and strong, stronger than the men, I would say. It's just they like things to go their way. I don't think any black woman is an angry person. They're just like me, tenacious. They want things done the way they want it done. You just have to come to terms with how they see things, and then you understand their passion for it is what makes them look like they're angry about it or angry about a topic. But they're very wonderful people, and you want them around your corner always. Not to fight them, trust me.
If wishes were true, what would you wish could happen to blacks?
I want to see more of us in senior positions in the Western world. We've got them, but I know we do a lot of DEI on paper. I'd just like to see it happening in the real sense. My wish is that people can see us for who we really are and not how we've been
portrayed by
yeah, I mean, if a black man's integrity is always questionable, then there's a problem. I don't think we have the right perception about blacks out there, and I'd like that to change. I mean, if you travel to some places and the first thing you say is, I'm a Nigerian, you get a bit of, feeling. If to change anything or wish anything, I think that people can read us more and take us as an individual and not a generalized perception of what we are. I always look back at how we got into that position with invasion, and it was about our exposure, which was lacking, and the gap in what the weaponry was. If I could turn back the time, I would have wished we had more advancements before that invasion. That wouldn't have happened. More like a dialogue and a negotiation rather than enslavement.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Smashing. Like, subscribe, follow. Thanks for watching.